Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is November the 18th, 2019. Strong hand. Yeah, it's November 18th when you're watching this. It's November 18th where I am. This is the part 2 of the show that got cut off yesterday. It was hilarious. 5-digit realm, value your wealth in Bitcoin, apex predator, offended by selling, conviction. Let me tell you about some conviction. So I got that. I wanted to try out something new, did the show outside. The internet connection is incredibly fast, the free Wi-Fi here in Adelaide. But YouTube wasn't having it. It cut me off like 2 or 3 times. And then the third time, it would not reconnect, even though the connection was really fast. I don't know the whole thing. I don't know the whole internet versus YouTube drama, what happened. Hey, but I got you that show. It got cut off, and now I'm bringing you part 2 of that show. Now, probably since then, the Bobby Lee thing has come out. Watch all my old shows, disruptmeister.com. Follow me on Twitter, @TechVault. I am in motion. If I got to do a show outside, I got to do a show outside. If for the next 8 days that I'm here in Australia, I got to do these shows taped, then I got to do them taped. You roll with the punches. That's what being in motion is about. It's what being productive is about. I compete. I don't complain, baby. And so things happen. Hey, I make the most of it. And that show, part 1 of this show, was freaking hilarious. So it's linked to below. I'm rambling on about a bus driving by me and stuff. It's high energy, and that's pure me. No alcohol or drugs or anything, all natural in a fasted state. That's the kind of energy I can bring to the table, baby. And it's about being healthy and happy, baby. So people usually default to think that if someone's got energy, they must be taking some performance enhancers. But nope. I'm loving life. That's what it's about. So be in motion. Maybe that'll inspire some people. Maybe this will inspire some people that I'm bringing you this second one that no doubt is being uploaded outside in the middle of the night. Conviction. Okay, pound that like button. So let's continue on from part 1. Something that was left out of the show. Thank you, Planet Musk Vlog, for the super chat, for the $5, man. Thank you very much for the support. Thanks for everyone. Best support you guys can, free support, you just retweet it on Twitter. Just spread the word about these shows. And so a takeaway from the previous show was you fight an unfriendly fork with a friendly fork. If you know an unfriendly fork is coming, someone should do a friendly fork that's just going to be like that unfriendly fork. Watch the part 1 of the show to learn more about that. I mentioned HEX, the ego coin that's being airdropped to people eventually. I just want to clarify, the snapshot date is December 2nd of that crypto dividend. Who knows when the claiming mechanism will be live, okay? But I'll tell you, when I hear you can claim it, and we'll all claim it, and we'll all sell it and get more Bitcoin. Thank you, Mr. Ego Coin. Pound that like button. So I want to clarify that again. December 2nd, that's the snapshot date. Who knows when you're going to be able to claim it? Maybe they'll reveal that. So we will move to an article in Forbes. Perhaps Google will kill Bitcoin after all. Oh, the clickbait. Oh, the clickbait. Now, the funny thing is, I already talked about Google being a bank, because that's what this is about, or Google helping a bank. And I wish Google well. I think Google should be able to be a bank. I think Google should be able to print their own money. And so that shows in the archives, the recent archives. Probably it's linked to below. But it's yet another flawed obituary article here. Now Google, in partnership with the U.S. banking giant Citigroup. Oh, Citigroup, scared. I mean, most of you guys get, when you see my shirt that says BTC with the Citigroup symbol, you think it's a conspiracy. Some of you people are so freaked out. It's just a freaking bank, dudes. But anyway, banking giant Citigroup have said it's planning, don't pedestal them, has said it's planning to launch its own fully fledged smart checking bank accounts via Google Pay Pressure on Bitcoin developers. Oh, piling pressure on Bitcoin developers to improve user experience and adoption or face redundancy. Yeah, there's no pressure on Bitcoin developers because Google is going to make your checking account at Citi more efficient or searchable. I mean, again, you're getting checking accounts and savings accounts confused. Yeah, Google's involved with the checking account. Bitcoin is the best savings account ever known to man. So what this article means to me, or what the news means to me, because the article is just clickbait FUD saying, oh, we should be scared of what Google's doing with Citi. That will put pressure on Bitcoin. It will kill Bitcoin. It's nonsense. It's absolutely nonsense. We're one step close. Google, they're smart. They'll get this. Then they're one step closer to either being their own bank, either being their own payment system, being their own cryptocurrency, being with it. They're playing the long game here. Okay, they're playing the long game, and I wish them well. And I hope they do come up with their own Google coin. But it's about competing, not complaining. Bitcoin will not be. It's not centralized around a company like Google is. It will continue to beat all centralized competitors. I am fully confident in Bitcoin. It competes. It doesn't complain. Bring on more and more competition. And of course, Google Coin will get more people into Bitcoin in the long run. And by the way, whatever Google is doing for Citi, whatever technology, it's to make your account more efficient over there. That can be implemented on your on your wallet also, probably on your Bitcoin wallet. It could be incorporated on the Bitcoin, the technology that Google is lending to Citigroup. I'm sure it could be somehow someone could make a Bitcoin product out of it also. So this is not something that's going to. Why would it kill Bitcoin? Again, it's just this obituary will look back and smile at, just like at the other 200 of Bitcoin obituaries that are out there. But hey, just in case you guys have a weak hand, wanted to just reaffirm your belief in Bitcoin there. Get your hand strong. All right. Litecoin Foundation, they emailed me again. And they just won't stop. They will not stop. Litecoin, this is the title of the email. Litecoin interest income, the gift that keeps on giving. So, Litecoin Foundation plus Celsius Network. Don't leave your Litecoin out in the cold this winter. I mean, that sounds, I think of that, I interpret that them saying, don't put your Litecoin in the cold storage. Don't put it on a Trezor. Treat yourself to interest income. You deserve, and start earning up to 10% annually on your Litecoin. So they're encouraging this behavior that is not good. It's in the long run, lending. If you're getting used to loaning out your cryptocurrency to a third party to get interest, then that's not a best practice. That's a worse practice. Best practice is, if God forbid you hold Litecoin, you put it on your Trezor. Well, the best thing you can do if you hold Litecoin is you turn it into Bitcoin, and then you put the Bitcoin on your Trezor or your other whatever hardware storage device you may have. But these guys at the Litecoin Foundation, they must really love Celsius Network or have some, who knows? I guess this is an advertisement. Maybe Celsius Network's paying for this. I'm not going to speculate on that. I'm just going to remind everyone that if you think this is good for you, if you think, well, it's time to turn my $50 worth of Bitcoin into $50 worth of Litecoin, and then at the end of the day, it's going to be worth, at the end of the year, it's going to be worth $55. Oh, wow. I got my 10% return. Meanwhile, Bitcoin will, it very well could, it very well probably will, in terms of it will go up in value to an extent where you are losing because you value your wealth in Litecoin and dollars instead of valuing your wealth in Bitcoin. That it just would have been smarter to hold your Bitcoin, because now your Bitcoin, that $50 worth of Bitcoin is worth a heck of a lot more than that Litecoin holding plus the 10% Litecoin interest that you got. You got to think in you got to get your head in a Bitcoin mindset. Value your wealth in Bitcoin. It's a mindset. It is a way of life. It keeps you holding that Bitcoin. Speaking about Trezor, these dudes are pretty honest. They are very honest. They have a disclosure about details of the multi-sig change of address issue and its mitigation. I linked to it below. It didn't affect anyone. No one took advantage of the situation, but they had an issue. They disclosed it because they're public about everything. That's great. I respect them for doing that. It's linked to below. All right. Disruptors don't ask permission. That is you're an innovator, you're in motion, you're not asking permission. And so I want to, for all the people out there, they're like, oh, people aren't allowed to fork off a Bitcoin. They don't need to ask permission. Yeah, crypto dividends don't need to ask permission. And if you want to make an altcoin, you don't have to ask permission. You don't need my approval because, again, I think altcoins, let me tell you something. If you're making an altcoin, just make it a crypto dividend of Bitcoin. That's the best thing. So I can become richer off of you. And holders can become even have stronger hands, okay? The art of holding Bitcoin is one of the most important practices in all of cryptocurrency. So anything that promotes that, I'm for, okay? And creating altcoins that are just forks of Bitcoin that encourage people to use these altcoins as interest on their Bitcoin, crypto dividends, well, that encourages holding to a great degree there. So I want to bring up, let's talk about Bprivate here. We haven't talked about Bprivate was a crazy crypto dividend of Bitcoin and Z Classic. And the idea came from a guy named Rhett, who has been vilified incredibly. People call him an idiot, even though he went to MIT and is smarter than most everyone watching this show, or anyone even dreaming of watching this show. His degree was in something with nuclear something or other from MIT. Okay, so, but besides him being incredibly smart and people calling him stupid and look like complete buffoons by calling him stupid, I don't vilify the guy. Did he manage Bprivate well? No, he didn't manage the situation well and get it on exchanges. But he came up with an incredibly original idea. The whole spork idea was incredibly original, incredibly original. So that can't be forgotten. That can't be forgotten. But because of all the drama, and because he didn't get it on an exchange or in the proper time, and there was corruption over there, all sorts of nonsense ended up happening over the Bprivate side. People still, they're going to hate on him. They're going to hate on it. And there is a guy over there that I've had on the show named Big Dave Akers. And he is truly, he's went down with that ship over there. He's a respectable guy. And he's worked on that project over there for quite some time. It's worth very little now. And he has come up, because he's worked on that project, he has contributed to the overall Bitcoin and cryptocurrency community when he revealed the corruption at HitBTC. Why anyone would keep their precious anything over there is beyond my. But HitBTC tried to blackmail Bprivate, and they lied about Bprivate. It was around the time that Bprivate had they had a coin burn. Now I'm saying all of this because now Big Dave Akers, who I respect, who's an honest man, says he had a tweet, and I actually retweeted it. It's going to be linked to below, hopefully. I actually didn't link to it. We'll work on that. Hopefully it's linked to below. But let me write this down. Okay, hang on. Link to Big Dave. Link to Dave. He's a great British guy. Now, he says that someone, because it's somewhat private, someone counterfeited some Bprivate. How they went about it, I don't know exactly. It's linked to below. The point is, and so people immediately started ripping on him. Oh, it's horrible coin. You're terrible. You're a scammer. You're this, that, and the other on Twitter. You got to realize the dude is straight up saying my coin basically got hacked. he's being totally honest with you. And it's something people can learn from here, okay? On a social level and a technical level. Let all the people making their own altcoins and whatever see, how did this happen? What the heck is going on? This is a learning experience. Someone has been able to, behind the scenes, make some more fake, but create Bprivate that was not supposed to be created. And it got sent to exchanges. So this is an issue. This is a learning opportunity. I'm not saying it's very negative for Bprivate, and the dude is sharing his story. But people are just very reactionary and just want to scream scam and scream ret, even though ret has nothing to do with it anymore. And this brings me to a bigger topic here when we're talking about these privacy coins. And I have to hand it to Fluffy Pony over at Monero, okay? And he was very smart. He's been in the space for a while, and he allied himself with many talkative people in the space. He was friends with Tone, with Charlie Lee, with all sorts of Bitcoin maximalist type of people. Even though he's a Monero, even though he's the big guy behind Monero, is Fluffy Pony. And because he did that early on, he made a social. Now I don't know if it was all planned out and everything, but him being socially integrated with all the Bitcoin people, it's like almost taboo to rip on Monero the same way these same Bitcoin people rip on Zcash, rip on Mimblewimble type of stuff, or Z Classic, or whatever stuff that's associated with the privacy coins, or Dash when it was private. Okay, no, the people in the space compare here for a second. How people rip on coins associated with Zcash and Mimblewimble compared to the ripping on Monero gets. Monero really doesn't get ripped on at all because of Fluffy Pony. Because of Fluffy Pony. And you just got to hand it to him. Because he actually he can be quite obnoxious in his tweets and stuff. Yet he doesn't really get a hard time from anyone at all. Because of what he did early on, because he's been around for a while. So there are social maneuvers you can do here. Now, I mean, when you act like ret, the complete opposite happens. The complete opposite happens. So I mean, there's lessons here, but I do want to point out something here. And I do think the privacy space is interesting, and that hopefully Bitcoin will one day be able to learn some stuff from the guys that are competing over there now, Monero, Zcash, the Mimble, and again, we're getting a free Mimblewimble coin, MWC, crypto dividend. But it's just something to take into account when you're judging these coins. And again, this is in the long run, it's a waste of your time to even judge them all, which one's the best, blah 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 blah. But Monero doesn't get ripped on because of Fluffy Pony, because he was friends with people at the beginning. And I mean, and that's just a fact. And if you're a dude who wants to, start your own coin, I mean, there's a little tip for you. And then that brings back another flashback. When King of the Trolls really started, it became obvious that King of the Trolls was no Bitcoin fan anymore, and that he was going to go do whatever it takes to win. Okay, that there was unfriendly fork, whatever it took. I mean, we're talking about early 2017 now. There were people who were just like, well, he's a friend of ours. He's a friend. He's done so much. We can't. And people don't remember this. Because people now, they think King of the Trolls is a big, huge villain. He didn't become a villain as soon as he should have become a villain, because there were people who were friends with him. There were very loud people, influencers, whatever you want to call them, that were friends with him. And that helped him. That really helped him. And in the long run, that was very destructive, probably to some people's Bitcoin stashes, because it gave such legitimacy to what he was doing, what King of the Trolls was doing, because people were just, to the very end, they were saying like, well, we're friends with him. We're friends with him. How can this be bad? We're friends with him. And he got away with a lot before he ended up now, in the long run, he didn't get away with a lot. But there are social attacks. People talk about the different ways people are going to attack Bitcoin, blah, 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 blah. And in the long run, they all fail. But there's a social aspect to all of this also. And so I've given you two ones that are related. Now, again, Monero isn't, well, Fluffy Pony isn't trying to destroy Bitcoin like the King of the Trolls was. it's a little different, but you can see getting allied, making the right friends in this space helps you out in certain core. Now, again, there are some people that they don't know anything about the social media, and this is the majority of people in cryptocurrency. They don't know anything about the social media, the drama, the this, who Fluffy Pony is, who King of the Trolls is, and they're just looking at pure numbers, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, that they're not, but there are a substantial number of people that can be, their opinions can be very much shaped by who's friends with who, and Monero has benefited greatly from all that. And when you compare, because I mean, again, compare the whole aura out there of the Mimblewimble coins and Zcash type coins compared to Monero coins. It's completely among Bitcoin maximalists. I mean, Bitcoin maximalists give Monero a free pass most of the time, and at the same time, they'd be happy to rip on anything Zcash related. They don't like that Zuko guy. I could care less about Zuko and the pre-mine. Everyone goes because Zuko had he didn't have the pre-mine. What do you have for Zcash? The rewards for the early holders of it. I don't even know what was it called. The something tax. The tax that was given to the founder tax. I don't know what it was. Okay, yeah, he had that. And then forever and ever that becomes, he's enemy number one and whatever. But Fluffy and Monero, they're great. But it's good. Good for Fluffy for being friends with the right people. So we will see. So, but this is what makes me wonder. This Mimblewimble thing is supposed to be very good. This way of privacy is supposed to be better than what Monero does. But how do we? Who can you trust? Who can you trust out there because of the biases in this little corner of the space? We compete, don't complain. We'll see in the long run which one's better, which one Bitcoin implements or doesn't, or maybe someone will come up with something better. So when we're talking about, brought up Bcash before. Bcash just forked the other day, and it was just a maintenance fork. No one was supposed to continue the old chain, and for a few days, maybe 48 hours, it did continue, and I actually linked to that below. So there were two Bcashes for a while, but as of this telecast, it's gone. But you never know. That's the thing about forking. Hard forking. You never know if someone's going to continue it and make it a new coin. Who knows? But no, that it didn't continue. It's gone. It was interesting to see for a couple of days there. Now, and it's linked to forkmonitor.info. They show what happens when there's a fork. They monitor the situation to see if the old chain survives or whatever. Good link. It's linked to below. So let's talk about people in motion. BTC bracelet. BTCbracelets.com. I linked to that Twitter and that site. Good. Someone's making Bitcoin bracelets. It's an original thing. I was told about it by someone. They're in motion. I give them credit there. I stumbled upon another guy named Bitco Yanowski, and he's a character on Twitter, and he's got a site, and it's stickers, Bitcoin related stickers, and art. And one of them, he's got an Apex Predator sticker, which I thought was good. He obviously has watched Trace Mayer before, so they're my in motion people of the day. Tether was worth $1.02 for a little bit. People really value their wealth in dollars if they're willing to bid up Tether. Like, I must hold Tether. I must have it now. Some people must have really needed Tether. I don't know what they're thinking. I guess they like the stability of, well, the most it can go down is 2 cents. So they can have their logic. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. They should be valuing their wealth in Bitcoin. But for a little while there, clearly there was quite a high demand for Tether. If people bid it up to $1 or $2, you don't see that very often. And maybe there's more to this. If you know something, tell me. So we're talking about the social stuff. Someone sent me this. and I'm just going to read it. It was sent as a DM. And this is the kind of stuff you got to be careful of. So in the past 3 days in my YouTube feed, there have been 2 high traffic YouTubers that are starting to shill Bybit. First, it was, I'm not going to name the people because one of the people is definitely a good person. I'm sure there are more, but this is so obvious they are trying to shill with these influencers. It's getting obvious and ridiculous. Not sure what Bybit even is, because I just don't care. I just don't like how these influencers are doing this. Probably being bought off or something. Yeah, of course. I mean, I would assume that Bybit, I guess it's an exchange. And since most YouTube channels involve selling your Bitcoin, trading your Bitcoin, and if it's a new exchange or one I've never heard of, yeah, it's worth their while to get on the radar of these 80%ers that just need another place to foolishly flip and sell their Bitcoin at. So just because you all of a sudden you hear about the new greatest thing from someone on YouTube, someone on Twitter, whatever, you got to think long and hard. Why are they even saying this? Well, I never heard of this before. Why out of the blue is someone talking about Bybit? Because it's an advertisement, probably. But that's fair game in this space, and you have to think it out. And if you're a person that's on the fence, that's like between trading and not trading, and you hear someone bring up a new trading platform, it's going to sound pretty cool, and maybe you're going to try it. And those are the people that I'm really speaking to here. Like, dudes, don't get tempted to change your whole strategy because someone all of a sudden informs you about some new trading platform. Don't go from holding to trading just because you've heard about it. Suddenly, you've heard about something new from 2 or 3 different people. It must be good. I just heard about it from 2 or 3 different people. Think long and hard why they're even talking about it and how they were. I was thinking, I get contacted by all sorts of things that are much worse than that are so obvious. Like if you mention it, ICOs and whatever. Why would that? If Adam all of a sudden mentions ICO, clearly someone got to him. it does not Adam, just your local guy on YouTube, whoever. If they're all of a sudden talking about some ICO, they never talk about ICOs. But so most people can identify that. But with something like this, it's a little harder because maybe Bybit is legit. I don't know if Bybit's legit or not legit. I know I never heard of it before, and I started seeing stuff for it too all of a sudden. Just don't let stuff like that change your long-term strategy from holding to trading. And there are going to be plenty of temptations like that in the future. Plenty of guys willing to shill things that I consider to be risky. Anything dealing with trading or anything that deals with letting someone else control your Bitcoin is, to me, something I would not take. I would not do an open advertisement for it. And I would not do I'd never do a hidden advertisement anyway. Oh, God. Storage devices, buying your storage devices is great. That's what I've obviously had advertisements for Crypto HW Wallet before, because they that was all about, and I really should sign up with him again for the affiliate program. I'm sharing thoughts in my head now. Yeah, because people need to get they need to get hardware devices. That is something that's very good. That supports what I believe in, which is just holding. All right, we'll talk about what's that. Okay, that's it. That's the end of the show. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. That was part 2 of the show. That's everything you should have got earlier. Pound that like button, bang that bell button, subscribe to the channel. Click on that square you see there right now to see some other shows. Pound it. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.